Greetings, everyone, and welcome to our channel. I am the host, CEO, and founder of EyesOnSecurity, Dr. Tovi Barker Williams. I want to stop by just for a few moments and to have a conversation. I know we love conversations, and it's always about education and awareness and mentoring from my standpoint, right? Have you all found yourself in a place where you have to review security controls? Now, I am a NIST girl. I've been a NIST girl for 15 years now, and I understand what risk assessments are, what risk management is, the NIST control families that we all love and hold so dear to our hearts. I understand the patch management as well as the new AI NIST standard that we are involved with, or many organizations are um, migrating towards for their organizations. Excuse me. But security controls. Have you ever found yourself reviewing 1,500 security controls by yourself? If you haven't, you're lucky. What about maybe 100 or 200 controls? That's pretty easy to do. But what happens when you have ITGCs, which are IT general controls, and your regular run of the mill security controls? How do you address them if you've never done the work before? Well, you ask. You ask a peer, you ask a team member, you ask your boss, what is the right practice or right approach to start addressing security controls? First and foremost, you must gain an understanding of what that control is asking for. And when I say what that control is asking, the control can simply ask you, do you have a access control policy in place or procedure? Are you executing on security awareness training on an annual basis? How complex is your password within your environment? Are you adopting a specific security standard? And I know right now I'm making light of these questions, but so many organizations do not understand how to read NIST security controls. They do not understand all the enhancements that are associated with that control. And what's even more interesting is that when it's time for an audit, whether it's an internal or external, we have not designed our controls to how we actually show that the control is functioning correctly. And why do I say this? We have controls, we have control objectives, we have control descriptions, and there is an artifact, whether it's a policy, standard, or procedure that is associated with that control. Case in point, earlier I talked about vulnerability management during the first video of the year, right? There are controls under the audit and accountability NIST control family that talks about monitoring and scanning and how the organization is executing against that. Is it active scanning? Is it passive scanning? If there is a known vulnerability from the scan or of identified threat or risk, how are we, have we opened a remediation plan? Have we had a conversation? All these speak to how we address the control. But so many organizations struggle. Over the course of the last 2 years, I found that many organizations don't have implementation statements to coincide with that security control. The implementation statement is simple. It's the how to. How do you plan to execute? How do you plan to show that this control is designed and functioning properly? It's not so easy as saying there's a policy in place. Sometimes it's the activity or the actions taken by the associated team. Now, I didn't come here to tell you that You need to look at your security controls. You need to look at your security controls. I will say that jokingly. However, I've come here to emphasize the fact that education and knowledge is power. And if you don't understand what a control is stating, ask the question. We have control owners, we have process owners, we have executive owners, we have people who have been in the risk management family for years. We have our legal team, our privacy team. We have the doers of those controls. And we should write those controls or address those controls with supporting evidence to satisfy them for that period of time. Now, security controls should be monitored on a continuous basis, but they also have cycles in which you are to assess them. That assessment comes in on an annual basis, semi annual basis, quarterly basis, and if your control is just outright failing, it's a monthly basis. Many times, organizations don't want to do a monthly control test because of laziness. Um, the right person is not available. We know the control, making the assumption that we know the control is going to fail. And that's great. However, me being an auditor, both internal and external, I'm gauging that control. I'm gauging how it's designed, if it's designed effectively, and I'm gauging if it actually works and does what we state it's going to do. But that gets back to having the right team and right people in place to review security controls. It's not just about a SOC 2 compliance attestation or ISO 27001 certificate or meeting the PCI DSS standards or following or um, meeting HIPAA privacy and security rules. It's about the health of the organization. And we should not just be reviewing security controls because an audit is coming in a few months. We should be taking a proactive measure to make sure our stakeholders understand why we are executing on security control reviews. What is needed to ensure this control pass the rigor of effectiveness from a design and functionality perspective. Many times, we as cybersecurity analysts, risk analysts, compliance and risk managers, we give a lot of grace because we don't want to speak up and stir the water. Let's move away from that approach and let's take the approach of doing the right thing and making sure that others understand from a top down perspective the importance of effective control design. Not just because we're trying to obtain a piece of paper, but we're trying to protect information within our environment and ensuring that our processes are changed when they need to be changed. Like I said, I only stopped by for a few minutes. This was top of brain for me. I hope I did not offend anyone with my, I'm not a righteous person, but with my positive demeanor. But I just want to bring you into the light of what I see as an internal assessor, a risk management professional, and just the stakeholder that's involved in the development, execution, and adoption of effective security practices. Thank you for your time and thanks for watching.